Hello my friends, I'm Duchess and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I organize my life as a Webtoon artist, YouTuber, full-time student, and the oldest girl in a family of 11. Let's get started. Throughout my art journey, I have briefly talked about my life and how I juggle a few different things in order to create art and content. Some of my followers, family, friends, and subscribers have also told me that they can't understand how I'm able to do it all, so I'm going to tell you guys how I do it with these two things. Number one is a planner, and this is huge. I just bought a planner last night and I'm so ecstatic. I love stationery, and planners are definitely like up there on my list of favorites. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me post stories of my planner or my notes throughout the school semester. I use it every day and it helps keep me on top of everything. So here's the new planner I got just last night. I don't really like the design of this planner, but it was the only planner at Walmart that I liked because all the other ones were not the brand that I wanted. And Day Designer is my favorite planner brand because it has everything that I want and need. By the way, this is not a sponsored video, obviously, but I just really love this brand. It has all of these cute stickers that I'll never use because it's too pretty to use. Yes, I know that's weird, but I just don't want to mess it up. I know there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way. It's too pretty. You just can't do it. So it also has this cute little folder to put note cards in. I don't usually like to use it because, again, too pretty to use, but yeah, it also has a mini calendar and I love that it's lined so that way everything is really neat. If it was not lined, I'd probably be writing crooked everywhere. I'll show you guys my planner from last year and how I basically organize my life. Let's look at the month of September. So I can write little notes on the left side here. I usually put the most important things for the month. For example, if I have a deadline for a huge college project, I'll write the assignments here. Or if I have a Webtoon deadline I made for myself or some important event, I put it here. And then when I'm done, check it off or highlight it so I know that that is already over with. I also record all the other important events on the calendar. I mark my school days, my work days, my Webtoon and YouTube days, also the dates when I have exams and stuff, just so I know, oh, this week I'm doing this, or next week I'm doing that, or I have to make sure I do this because next week I'm doing this and that. So yeah, then there's the notes. So if you flip over to the next page, it has more detailed notes of everyday life. The top 3 most important things will be written up here, and they have specific category and section for that, which I love. That helps me to remember what my most important priorities are. So the most important things that I need to get done for that week will be written there. So that way I know even if I don't get to everything else, I at least have to have those 3 things done. For each day, there are 2 sides. One side is more like a notes, and then the other side is the to-do list, which is amazing. On the left side, I always record events of the day, and it's somewhat like a diary. It helps me to remember what I did that day or what happened. I used to have a lot of trouble remembering a lot of things, and it always felt like I had short-term memory loss. So this planner has really helped me with that. I still forget a lot of things, but this planner jogs my memory and makes me feel less confused and disorganized. And if I ever think like, oh, what did I do that day? You know, I just go back to that day, look at my planner, and I'm like, oh, this is what I did that day. Yeah, so on the right side, I write down all the things I want to get done that day. When I'm done, I check it off and then highlight it because I like to have more color. It looks prettier. I just find it so satisfying to check off the assignments and tasks and highlight them, so I usually feel very motivated to be productive and get everything done. When I'm filling out my planner, I always plan ahead, at least a week ahead, especially during the school semester. I already know the due dates of upcoming assignments, and I know that, I need to post and upload content. So on certain days, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, I know that, oh, I need to record my YouTube video for this day. I need to work on my Webtoon for this day, or I need to draw on this day so I can post on this day. So I always prepare ahead of time so I'm never late for deadlines. And I like to be early or finish things early so I don't have to worry about it later. It also keeps me from procrastinating. I've never really been a procrastinator, so I find this somewhat easy to do, but I know it can be a lot for others. I do really think that having a planner can help you to better manage your time, productivity, and life in general though. Of course, not everything can go according to plan, which is something I struggle with all the time. Even when I plan ahead, things happen, you know? I have to watch my baby brothers, my baby sisters, or I have to clean up this and that, or I have to do something else, I have to go somewhere, and I can't get everything that I wanted to done, but that's okay. I'm usually always ahead of schedule, so I can just move my tasks to the next day or to the most available day or to the day I have the least things to do. That's why I always plan ahead. Plus, if I ever want to do anything that's outside of my schedule, like go out or just relax, I know that I can afford to take some time off and do something else on whatever day that I want to. And it just makes my life so much easier to manage. At first, I would feel really disappointed in myself or upset when I couldn't get to everything that I wanted to. But I've gotten much better at accepting that sometimes it's just too much. Like sometimes you don't realize it yourself, but you're really putting too much pressure and work on yourself. And you know, things don't always go the way you want it to. But yeah. So this is the planner I've been using for the past year and I love it. I highly recommend this planner to anyone who wants to start getting more organized. Also, buy this at your local Walmart or something, okay? I wanted to buy one of these online on the actual website or even like on Amazon, and they had all sorts of pretty designs, but it was over $60. So yeah, and then I went to Walmart last night and I saw this one. It was the only one that was Day Designer brand, and it was only $13. So the next big thing is to train yourself to be disciplined. I know it's a struggle to get yourself out of bed and like be productive, but that's really the only way you can do it all. Some mornings I wake up and I just don't want to get up. I wish I could just lay in bed and watch anime on Crunchyroll all day or just do nothing. But at the same time, I'd feel so awful if I wasn't productive, and there's just so many things I want to do. Even if you don't have anything that you want to do or anything that you're passionate about, I promise you'll be much happier about yourself if you get up and do something productive. You know, it doesn't have to be anything big. You can just, you know, go on a walk. That's good for you. Get some vitamin D, a little bit of exercise, you know, make yourself breakfast, eat something healthy, you know, it can be anything. Just any little thing that is actually good for you will make you feel good about yourself. And so, you know, yeah, so when I get days off to work on my Webtoon or my YouTube videos, I try to wake up early, but I also let myself sleep in a little bit. I try really hard to wake up by 8:30 a.m. on my days off, but sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. But anyway, the earlier you wake up, the more time you have to be productive, so I do prefer to wake up early. I train myself to be disciplined using my planner. If I write down certain tasks for the day, I work my hardest to make sure I do it all. So these two things, you know, the planner and being disciplined, are really tied together. In order to be more focused, I usually isolate myself from others so there are no external distractions. I literally, not really force myself to not play games or watch anime on my devices, and I work. I argue with myself internally to keep working, and I usually always go through with it. Like if I'm like, I get like itchy hands and I'm like, oh my god, I want to go watch this anime, or I want to do this instead, or I want to go eat, because eating is sometimes more fun than working. But I'm like, no, I have to sit here and keep working, you know, keep working, finish this first, or make little like goals, like, okay, you can go eat after you do this, or okay, you can go spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes doing this if you finish this first. And so yeah, I always have goals. Like I said, use a planner. In my planner, I always set small doable goals so that way I don't feel super overwhelmed, because if you know you have this huge essay due in like 2 months, you'll be like, oh my god, I have to write an essay in 2 months, and then you just procrastinate until 1 week before it's due, you're like, oh my god, I have to write an essay, and then you're stressing out trying to finish it, right? But here's what I do. Essay due in 2 months? Great. Spend 1 week doing a little bit of research every day. The next week, write a little bit every day. And the next week will be editing, revising, and formatting, which is pretty easy. Turn it in 1 week early and be done with it. And that's how I make sure that I'm disciplined. I've also found that getting things done ahead of time keeps me disciplined. It motivates me to keep working on my stuff and get it done so I don't have to stress about deadlines later. And you know, like in class, teachers like, oh, this essay is due this week, make sure it's done. I don't have to worry because I'm already done with it. This also applies to my Webtoon and my YouTube videos. But for my Webtoon and YouTube, I usually am not that much ahead because I focus more on school. So that's kind of different, but I do always try to work on it as much as possible and try to be ahead as much as possible. It just doesn't turn out that way because it's not my #1 priority, if you know what I mean. I've also created good habits by doing the same things for days. Once you do it enough, it'll start to become a habit and you'll just be more productive and do things more naturally instead of having to force yourself to do things. For example, every morning I wash up, get ready for the day, right? Then I'll open up my planner and check all the things I have to do. If I know what I'm doing next week, I'll start planning it out ahead of time. That way I always know what I'm going to do and what I have to do. And like I said, not everything goes according to plan. Sometimes, some days I do feel a little lazier and I am a little less productive, which is totally okay. Everyone is human and it's good to take a break here and there and relax. I used to get burnt out a lot. But again, I'm much better now at forgiving myself and just readjusting my schedule to accommodate, being more flexible. If you focus too much on the plan or are too much of a perfectionist, you'll probably never be happy or always feel unmotivated to do anything. So that's how I am able to be a Webtoon artist, a YouTuber, a full-time college sister, and a big sister all at once. So if you guys really want to get your life reorganized or want to do more things, but you just can't really figure out how, I recommend that you guys start using a planner and just use that to train yourself to be more disciplined or to be more productive. It's really hard to start at first. I started in high school and yeah, it was hard to make myself write in it every day, but after I started writing in it for like 30 days, it just became more natural, like I said. And so, once you start, everything will get better from there. So yeah. So those are my 2 big tips. Use a planner, be disciplined. That is all I have for you guys this week. If you guys enjoyed this week's video or learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week.